leave that work right here. You can see me right here looking all good. What's up? How y'all doing? Check out my wife's videos. Subscribe, like, hit that the notification bell. Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Welcome back, and of course I have my husband here. We are gonna have a in-house date night, I guess, kind of. Okay, so I've been into this whole murder mystery thing. I guess it's, I don't know if it's the Halloween vibe that I'm getting in, or, well, I've always liked the murder mystery, CSI's Unsolved type thing. Shh. Are you seriously playing the game while we're doing the video? I mean, really?
I'm being attacked, so I'm waiting to boost. That's it.
This is a to preface, however you say that, to the video. If you plan on ordering this case from the Unsolved Case Files and have not done it yet, or just don't want spoilers, don't watch this video. We will be doing the case and recording it and putting it out there. Now, I will say they are coming out with another one, you said, in November?
Yeah, so this one's Harmony. There's 2 or 3 other ones already now. Another one comes out in November, another one in January. They're building one to come out in March or April.
So I've wanted to do one of those unsolved case files, basically, for a very long time now, and I finally broke down and bought one. It was one of the cheaper ones, so I'm hoping it's just as good as one of the $60 ones that you can typically do. It's supposed to have a lot more, and you can do with a group. I don't know, but this is called Unsolved Case Files. Where's my face? I can read it. I don't know if you can hear me, though. The murder mystery game that lets you be a cold case detective, which I've always wanted to do, but, you know, I like my out Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 hours, kind of.
Kind of.
Okay, so it's supposed to include everything that you need to solve the case. I think there's like 3 objectives.
Objective 1. Open.
Open. Ooh, it got letters. Do not open until. So you got little.
You gotta do them in order.
Yeah, it says do not open until completing objective 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we'll put these to the side, and then you get your little, it's supposed to be manila folder, but it's a brown folder. So I'm not gonna do the whole thing on video, one, because I've read that each objective takes about 2 hours, and we're not gonna be able to do that. But it has, oh my goodness, so much stuff. I'm excited. Okay.
So are these real unsolved cases?
I hope not.
I'm thinking not, because it tells you not to open evidence until certain points. True. So it's obviously like a game.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would probably be a good idea for like old unsolved cases to kind of give them to the public and be like, here you go, solve it. Because I think that would,
Put it on Reddit. Reddit solves everything.
Yeah. There's some pretty good investigative people out there now. I may not be one of them. I just like to watch it. But I think that would be a good idea. Unsolved Case Files is a game that lets you solve a fictional crime. So it's not real. That's good. Using the evidence and documentation from the original case file.
Still fictional.
Okay. To solve a fictional crime, ... using the evidence and documentation from the original case file.
Yeah, they're going to call it an original case file, but it's still a fictional crime.
But I'm getting...
It's original.
As in, it's real. No, I'm thinking it's from a real...
legitimately original.
But they changed up some information. Because it said, okay, a fictional crime using the evidence and documentation from the original case file. So say, from a true case file.
So a real case file, they changed some stuff to make it a different crime.
Yeah, kind of. Or names. Just change names. I don't know.
Well, it says fictional crime from the original case file. So I'm thinking original case file is a real case file. Maybe they stole something and they changed this to be who killed somebody.
Let us know what you think on that reading, because I think it may be...
First unsolved mystery.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Your first objective. Prove Bones is innocent. Well, now that's like telling me. I don't want to know he's innocent.
Prove it.
Yeah.
I should.
Innocent until proven guilty. I shouldn't have to.
Well, so he's innocent. He's done. We haven't proven guilty yet.
He's already innocent. So you do have to get on your computer iPhone or phone. No, we don't have iPhones. Your phone. You can get hints online, or you can, I guess, obviously you got to prove what you found out, so you don't have to skip ahead. But you do have hints. My words aren't coming. Brain, mouth. Oh, she was getting married. I did read that. So she gets killed the night of her dinner rehearsal.
The night before her wedding?
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah. So here's her wedding invitation.
Well,
he doesn't look guilty. That's the thing. I proved
but
it.
his bones.
I proved it. He doesn't look
innocent.
guilty. He looks
Gotta
innocent.
be it.
Oh, poor Bones.
Well, that's Bones.
He looks innocent. Look at it. He's surprised. Now you look guilty. You did it. He did it. I'm gonna go with.
Wait,
he did.
You gotta look at Rex. He looks pretty angry.
No. His face. He did it. I don't know who it is yet. He did it. I bet you it's her future husband.
Andy looks too innocent to be innocent. Look at crime scene photos.
Crime scene. There's no blood. It's not real. I would love to do this. Like, be a case. Not a real case. Don't come at me.
She wants to be a case.
I want to be one of these fictional cases. Alright.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay, so we've been away for about
2 hours.
2 hours. You've been away for like a second. You can't even see this mess.
But it's a mess.
It is a mess. Everything's strewn out all over the table. We went through all the evidence because it was a lot of us reading, and that's not interesting. Well, we were reading it to each other and kind of role-playing in a way. So okay.
We made it fun.
So we're going to recap, and there is a lot of information. Did you just hear that? A lot of information.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, there was a lot of information here. So we have, I don't know where to start. She was at her rehearsal dinner. It started at 8 o'clock. By 9:30, she was found dead. So in between that time, her fiance and her got into a little argument about at the rehearsal dinner in front of everyone about presents for his parents that they apparently left either in the car or at home. So they went out to the car after arguing in front of everyone. Went out to the car to
get the presents, check for the presents.
To get the presents. Christian said that this is what I'm kind of confused on. Christian said that she forgot them at home. She said she forgot them in the car. This was never questioned really if it was in the car or at home. It did say that he was being arrested or detained. Not detained.
I just realized we're going straight into she and Christian, and they have no idea who she and Christian are.
This case is about Harmony Ashcroft, who was murdered. Christian is her fiance. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. Christian went back to the house to... Oh, this is all over the place because I just read this, guys. I'm going from memory. Christian went back to the house to get the presents after... help. He left.
Line.
What's my line? Okay. I'm all over the place here. Okay, so I'm trying to stay on this subject here, but I keep wanting to go to all the other ones.
The thought is that they would imagine the argument had to have continued outside because they were arguing in the restaurant and as they were leaving to go to the car. So obviously they were probably still arguing outside. No one saw them arguing outside though. And
then they don't say what time they left the party. That's what annoys me.
All the timestamps, everything says the incident occurred roughly around 9:30.
Yes, but they don't say what time Christian left the party.
Yeah. Okay,
so anyway, he leaves her in the parking lot to go get the presents that they had for his parents. I don't understand that part, but okay. Mm-hmm. And by the time he got there and got the presents that were supposedly at the house and not in the car, the police there arrested him. They broke down his door at 10 p.m. So 30 minutes later, he was arrested. They were here. You can't see that. The rehearsal dinner is this red dot, and then their house is this dot right here. That. Now, the guy that was arrested is who we're trying to prove innocent because that's the first objective. I feel like he's innocent just
Because she likes him.
Yeah, Christian doesn't look so innocent. That's who I'm going for. I think that Christian killed her because, first of all, I don't like his face.
You should share the face so people understand. She doesn't like that face.
He just looks not nice. And then, meanwhile, I showed you Bones earlier. He's like, oh, he doesn't look it. He did good. The little
mugshot. He looks sad.
The actor did good at portraying Bones. He's a homeless guy. Doesn't have a car. He's 6'2". By the way, pretty much every suspect or person of interest is left-handed, except one.
The victim was hit above her right eye. The autopsy says that it had to have been somebody left-handed or ambidextrous that either punched or hit her with a blunt force object and crushed her skull.
Okay, Bones. He is, like I said, a homeless guy. He went to a bar. It was right across the street, basically from Tully's. It's Rambo's bar, right there. And he got kicked out at
9.
Right at 9, a little bit before, after, somewhere around in there, because he missed last call. 9 o'clock at last call. Come on, I'm saying 9 o'clock last call at a bar.
I don't think it was last call. It was in the free happy hour.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. So it was in a free happy hour. This thing. He went off to the park, which is not that far from Tully's and from the bar, to sleep on a bench. He wakes up at 10 o'clock, 30 minutes after the incident, by an officer that spotted him on the bench that just so happened to have Harmony's engagement ring in his hand as he was sleeping. So the officer was told to arrest him because of what had just happened, what they found, and the said ring is in his hand.
His version after being arrested was that he originally left the bar saying he was going to get some money and come back, but he could tell he wasn't feeling well, so he decided to go ahead and go to sleep. He is homeless, has no money, no car, so he went to the park where he usually goes to sleep. He went to sleep and he was woken up with the ring in his possession by the officers. And so he said that while he was sleeping, somebody must have placed it on him. He
is really the only one that has a criminal record. Go figure. I'm sorry, they're being a little racist here, but that's okay. Never been arrested for anything. It's more like the fights and little things. Nothing, because he's 24 years old, so he hasn't been in jail for a long, extensive time.
Yeah, just like panhandling. He doesn't get arrested. Loitering, stuff like that. It's not for robbing people or for fighting people.
He does have.
Does he have that?
We'll
talk about Christian Peterson, who is the fiance. His version is that yes, they had an argument, really not a fight, but just an argument in the restaurant about the presents. He and his fiance went outside to check the car. The presents weren't in there, so they figured the presents were at home. He went home to get the presents. At the time that he left, she was still at the restaurant about 50 feet from the door and was going back in. And when he got home, the officers arrested him while he was picking up the presents. Based on the statements, they didn't seem like they thought he was much of a suspect because they kind of let him go. They went pretty easy on him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so the thing that I want to point out real fast is they are the photos here of the crime scene. Supposedly, there's only 3 of them, by the way. Of the crime scene are dated, time-stamped, and dated. So this was, the earliest photo was taken at 9:38 p.m. And it was said that she was possibly murdered at 9:30 p.m. So very fast response time. With the police getting there 8 minutes after and automatically running to Christian's house, I think is a little like...
Well, that was the one thing. So they knew Jenny Rogers is, what's her name? Harmony's best friend. And she's the one that told the officers about the argument. Their initial statement from her and the people at the restaurant was everyone's knee-jerk thought was that Christian killed her. The way they found out so quick was the busboy went to go take the trash out.
Yes.
And found her, and he ran inside and told everybody, which everybody ran out. People tried to perform CPR on her.
There were about 30 people or more that ran out to the crime scene to, revive her, but obviously it was not possible. It was too late. But with that, I mean, this is, a fictitious crime scene, but evidence would have been completely destroyed if there were any evidence. And we don't actually have any, evidence. We have an autopsy and a
no
ring.
Fingerprints, there's no footprints, there's no surveillance.
Nothing left behind. Yeah, there's no surveillance. I mean, come on.
Next person of interest is Andy Allen. Andy Allen was given to the police by a tip line call from a Chad Highsmith, who says Andy Allen is a lifelong friend of Harmony. He doesn't believe that Andy did it, believes that Andy was not at the party, and but that Andy would probably have more information to give with Harmony's background and probably lead them down past the suspects. I talked to Andy. Andy Allen is admitted that he's known Harmony since he was 6 years old and has been in love with her his whole life, and everybody knows he loves her except for Harmony, and that he does not like Christian and thinks Christian's a bad guy, that she's making a mistake by marrying him. Recently, before the rehearsal, he joked to Chad Highsmith that he was going to go to the rehearsal and get drunk and tell Harmony how he felt, which Chad thought was a bad idea. He wanted to go to support her, but also was hurt because he was in love with her and kind of looking for an excuse not to go. His brakes were having problems. His story to the cops is that the day of the rehearsal, he almost got in an accident because of his brakes. So he ordered new brakes and was in the process of fixing them at the time of the incident. And so he never went to the rehearsal. His alibi is Jason Briggs, who lives across the street from him. And he said that he had to go to Jason to borrow a tool to finish the brakes. Jason said he doesn't know Andy very well. He's only lived in the neighborhood for a few months, but he's a nice guy.
He went to Jason's house to borrow a tool at
10 p.m.
10 p.m. Again, 30 minutes after the incident. He said he was hot and sweaty and out of breath. But he said, that's normal given that he was working on a car. He also called the torque wrench a torque wrench, so he doesn't know his tools, which is kind of offsetting. And if he doesn't know how to repair brakes, and he's doing it on his own. One, I don't know if brake repair is a one-person job or not. I'm assuming it could be. But for somebody that doesn't know what they're doing...
Yeah, they said it took him a few hours, which they said was believable because he doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah. And weird thing on this map, it doesn't mention Andy's house, so I wrote it in because Jason Griggs' house was mentioned on the map. The police were saying, why didn't you get there? You could have took a bus, you could have took this, you could have took that, you could have walked. Again, Tully's Andy's house. I had Rex Ratliff.
Yeah.
He was a guy that... This is Rex Ratliff, the next person of interest. He was a guy that came to Harmony's place of business, which she is a child psychologist, and was very adamant that he help her, not being a child. The assistant to Harmony, Miss Cheryl Pratt, was, saying basically she can't help you, here's the other person that's in the practice, they can help you, Dr. Breeson. We don't have a witness statement from Dr. Breeson, which I think is kind of odd. So Harmony's assistant basically had pointed to Rex because of all the calls. He had been calling multiple times a day, tried to get Harmony to see him, to help him, because apparently Miss McCoy, which is his landlord, lived below him. And there were a few nights, one in particular, April the 26th, which was a couple weeks before the incident. He was basically very loud, banging on the walls. I think he was crying. It was basically brought about that his mother, in his interview, that his mother was murdered about 20 years prior.
To the day, 20 years prior. the day of the accident is May 8th, 1998. The story is that his mother was killed on May 8th, 1978.
Yeah. Remember, she came up there to see what was going on about the noise and all that. She gave him a card to the child to basically the clinic, which is both Dr. Breeson and Dr. Ashcroft, the Harmony victim, and had the picture on there. She said that he stared at it for quite a while, focusing on her face, and his version of that was because she looked exactly like his mother and wanted to hear her voice. So that's why he wanted help from her, and he also wanted to make the voices stop. Apparently he's hearing his mother's voice in his head. He's a little cuckoo. His version was that he was at his apartment the whole time, and the only person that could potentially confirm his alibi was his landlady, which lived below him. She said that his vehicle stayed put in the same parking spot the whole night. He got home around...
She said a little before 9 because X-Files was still on.
Yes. She heard more noise after 10 o'clock.
After 10 o'clock she heard, him upstairs making
crying.
noise.
He was crying and all this. So, like I said, he called multiple days, and there is a lot. The day of the murder, he called 10 times. The last one being just before 6, I think. Yeah, 5:42.
It was like a 2-week span, and each day the calls got increasingly more and more.
Yeah, started like 3 times a day, then 8 times, and then blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Derek Sivers, it was mentioned by Cheryl.
Christian.
Christian mentioned that there was a guy who had been threatening Harmony, and then also Cheryl Pratt mentioned in her statement that there was an incident with somebody in a car yelling, but she didn't know who it was or anything about it. Turns out Derek Sivers is our person of interest here. He was given information by, where is he?
Gardener.
Chris Adams. Chris Adams is a gardener for the clinic where Harmony works. He said he's been the gardener there for 2 years. And he knew Derek Sivers because Harmony was child psychologist for Derek's son, who at the time of this is about 12 years old. And Derek Sivers was going through a custody battle with his ex-wife, in which the court just a few days prior to this awarded full custody to the ex-wife based on a testimony by Harmony that Derek was unfit to have custody of guardianship or whatever, but based on her statement is why they were awarded full custody and said that he could not have any contact with his son. So the day of the rehearsal, as she was getting ready to leave, he pulled into the parking lot and from his car yelled at her, saying that basically, you're going to pay for this, and which she kind of ignored and left. In his statement, he says that yes, he was mad at her because obviously he blames her for losing custody to his son. That he's pissed at her, but that he didn't do it. That he was on a boat for the entire duration of the murder. He said that he was with a Navy buddy of his, which is Admiral Joseph Arthurson, and they were on the river on a boat for 2 hours, from 8:30 to 10:30, which Admiral Joseph Arthurson confirmed.
They put in here, it went all the way up north as far as, I put boat here, this basically the edge of the page, and then went right back down.
They did say that they saw the police sirens and the commotion around the restaurant, but I had no idea what it was about until being questioned.
Oh, and apparently his apartment, I don't know if that matters, is,
it showed his apartment.
It's like right there.
But that are all the suspects and all the versions and everyone's account of everything.
Yeah, so
and
now
with that information, we're supposed to prove that Bones is innocent.
So, yeah, we'll see you at some point, in a few hours, few minutes, a day. But to you, it's going to be like a second. See, I told you they weren't.
You said they didn't blur out the license plates. I was like, wait a minute. This is timestamp 9:38. Allen who he said that he was working on the brakes on his car. On the person of interest form, it says that he drives a.
Wait a second.
Fireworks are going off in the neighborhood. They're excited about me finding evidence. Okay. It says he drives a gray Hyundai Sonata with the license plate 644435, and in this photo, he said that
I couldn't see that.
at 10 o'clock he was getting a wrench from his neighbor because he hadn't finished working on the car yet. But at 9:38 p.m. the same night, there is a gray Hyundai Sonata parked in front of the restaurant, license plate 644435.
Car's there. A few moments ago said they didn't blur out the license plate.
That was the thing. It was like,
Right,
it's got to be something in the photos that proves something. And
but
then
it doesn't
you
prove
said,
that
it doesn't prove he didn't do it, but it does prove that Andy's lying.
So this is saying that he didn't cross.
He never could have crossed. Yes, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. He never could have crossed the bridge.
It didn't prove that Bones was innocent. It proved that we think Andy has something to do with it. Now, we did get a hint because we put in the wrong pieces of evidence that proved Bones was innocent. So it told us to look at this. I had read the back of the article several times, but nothing really stood out. And the fact that it was cut off on the article that we need to read was kind of annoying. Anyway, the bridge that connects Grant Park and Rambo's, where Bones was closed for an hour. So he couldn't have gotten across to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this shows where the bridge is, which is written all over everything.
Now we're seeing if Bones is innocent.
Bones is innocent! You're
Bones
welcome,
is
Bones. Told you. Go you. So the bridge went down due to a downed power line, I guess, I'm assuming, because it was cut off from 8:45 to 9:45. So there was an hour. She was killed at 9:30. So here, Rambo's is on this side of the river, and the bridge is here. Tully's on this side of the river, so he couldn't cross. He, like he said, went from Rambo's to Grant Park, straight there. So he's innocent.
He's innocent. Yay, Bones.
Now, with that piece of evidence that I don't know if we were supposed to find.
I think we skipped ahead, but
I think
I
so.
strongly believe that
Andy
it's our
did.
boy Andy. With that, we now get to open up the first envelope. All right.
Dun, dun, dun. McBride cleared! Woo!
McBride cleared of all
That's
charges
Bones.
in 1998 Riverdale murder.
So did they give him any compensation money for...
We will read and find out. Unsolved Case Files, objective to crack the false alibi. I think we already know how.
We already know the false alibi.
One of the
Done.
5 suspects in the case has lied about his alibi. Your job is to find the proof. When you can prove a suspect's major lie about his alibi, visit this page to
Go
prove
ahead.
it. I'm going to go ahead and
We're
do
going to go
that.
ahead and do it because I think he already found it.
Andy's alibi is fake.
Whoop, whoop.
Great work. You can now open the envelope labeled bonus envelope B.
Unsolved Case Files. Convict the killer. And then we got 2 more pieces, well, technically 3 that we still need to read.
Yeah, we still don't read
3
that.
more pieces of evidence. So we are going to read this.
One of the suspects lied about something that seriously implicates him in the murder, and your job is
Andy.
to find it.
We did that in
Danny,
number 2.
when you find the other lie,
The other lie. Okay. Hi. After our last high of finding Andy's car at the restaurant, before we even found the first that Bones was innocent, we've kind of come to a stalemate here.
Yeah.
So we got a letter from the mother and a photograph of the team. This was the original. And then the mother of Harmony, the victim, sent in this photo of, it's glaring, sorry, this photo of the team. So everybody is left-handed except for Andy. All the suspects or people of interest are left-handed except for Andy. Whenever you are playing ball, you catch with your left hand. If you're right-handed, you catch with your left hand and then throw with your right hand. And then in the letter, it says that this is the only time that Miss Ashcroft ever got in between the two. So we're assuming that this guy right here is Andy, and he is actually left-handed because he's wearing his glove on his right hand. We're going to go with it. We're going to try it.
We're going to try.
And we did have to do a hint because we did choose this one because we had to find out who was... We had to find out who was lying. So we picked basically these two, and they were wrong. This one. They said this one was correct, and it said do not follow the leads of the mother, because the mother was saying, you know, I don't think Andy did it. I've known him since he was 6 years old. He's so sweet, blah, 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 and kind of put you back on Christian, saying, okay, because, by the way, in the beginning, I can't remember if I did this or not, but I said that Christian killed her, kind of like the Clue game. Christian killed her because he was having an affair with Jenny. Sure enough, in the letter, this is 20 years later, Jenny is married to Christian with a family. I called that. Don't know if he's the killer yet. We're still kind of stuck on Andy, and so is the hint.
Andy is left-handed. Congratulations, your breakthrough on this case just made the 10 o'clock news.
Good job.
You may now open the bonus envelope.
I just want you to know I'm the one that does all this, you know, crime and murder mystery things and watching them. He's the one that's finding most of them.
Plus teamwork.
I'm tired.
Yeah, that's the news article about it.
48-year-old Riverdale man Andy Allen has confessed to a murder that happened over 2 decades ago.
He did confess.
According to it, Allen approached the victim in the parking lot to tell her that he loved her. But after responding that she did not feel the same, he became enraged and struck her in the head, crushing her skull and killing her instantly.
Oh.
Allen admits to then stealing her engagement ring and leaving the scene of the crime. While driving home, he placed the ring in the hand of a homeless man sleeping in Grant Park. Allen originally told police that he was at home on the night of the murder, but an independent investigation uncovered photographs showing a vehicle with his license plate at the crime scene. Allen also lied to police about being right-handed because investigators were looking for a left-handed killer. He switched to writing with his right hand while under investigation for the murder and has continued living as a right-hander for over 2 decades.
Alright, I don't know what this is supposed to be.
But it says you may now open bonus envelope C.
But we solved it.
Yep.
Oh, this is his statement. That was actually fun. I am exhausted. It took about
5 hours.
About 5 hours. Well, we did have to
We took some breaks here.
Took some breaks to refresh, get drinks, cook the girls' dinner. But I have had this on my list to do for several weeks now, especially in this October month, to kind of bring in the mystery type stuff. And it was really fun. I would really, really recommend it. Again, this is Unsolved Case Files. I got it on Amazon. It's about, I think it was about 25, 28, somewhere around there, dollars, American dollars. So I would definitely recommend it. It's not expensive. It's fun. It's 5 hours worth or more or less of information. This has been a video with Just Two. I don't know why I say that. Of course, it's been a video with Just Two Cole because you're here. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining.
Bye.